Hey guys, this week I want to talk to you about Starlink. That's actually that little tiny box on the roof of our truck behind us. I'll talk more about that Starmount Systems case in another video. I'll put a link for that down below and a link to where you can buy it. I've heard again and again that Starlink is a game changer. And as much as that term may be overused, for people who live in a truck traveling in remote places like us, it really is. So I think of times when we were down in Patagonia in a small little town with no Wi-Fi. We sat at a bus station for 2 days trying to get one video uploaded. Other times we were somewhere in the world buying SIM cards that cost way more than the video could ever make us just to upload the video. Sometimes it was cheap, you just needed to go to the top of a mountain, but searching for Wi-Fi, searching for data to upload has always been a part of our travels and our trip. And it has eaten up, if you look at the 6 years now we've been on the road, it's eaten up literally days of our life looking for Wi-Fi or a good cell signal or a local SIM card just to be able to upload all these videos. So for us, it has been a no-brainer once we made the choice. The hesitations I had, I think, were cost, being, $5.99, $6.99, depending on when you bought it. It's pretty expensive initial investment. The $100 to $150 a month, depending on when you had the service, what country you're in, might seem like a lot. The way we decided to do it is we went ahead and bought the US version. So I think it was $5.99, but on the screen I'll put the correct amount if I'm wrong. So what we decided to go with was the USA version. Now, the reason I mention this is because although the dishes seem to be the same all over the world, the price of the dish and the service is different. I think the best deal that was feasible for us to get would have been to order the dish while we were in Mexico. It costs much less money. And then we would sign up for Mexico Starlink service. And when we came to the US, sort of hope that they didn't tell you, hey, you now need to start paying the US amount. I've seen a lot of people do that. I'm not saying it'll work out because we didn't do it that way. I felt like the price was reasonable enough. I wanted to make sure that we didn't get cut off. And the reason I mention that is our cell phone provider, Google Fi, which we've used in something like 40 countries at this point, we used so much of it, they cut us off. We were traveling too much. And so I wanted to make sure that I didn't give any reasons or excuse to Starlink to cut us off. So we wanted to do everything by the book. That's why we did the USA service, and we pay $150 a month for the roaming plan, and we can go anywhere in North America. So Mexico, USA, Canada. And of course, if we ship the truck overseas again, or we start hitting Central America, we're gonna need to sign up for the global plan, which costs a little bit more. If we end up offshore somewhere on a boat or on a ship, we're going to need to pay for the ocean sort of service. Don't get that confused with the marine service, which is very expensive, thousands of dollars a month, and you need to have the high performance dish. They do offer one where you have service on the ocean, and it's just a smaller upgrade. And as soon as you're near shore again, you can go back to your normal land-based coverage. But I'm no expert in the sailing side of things. For us, this has just been so easy to use as well. We got the dish in the mail at my parents' house while we were visiting. We plugged it into the wall, and before I realized it, we already had Wi-Fi, and your phone was hooked up to it. And we ran a speed check on the Starlink while at my parents' house, and they have cable internet, and it was about twice as fast as their home internet plan. So to me, that was a good sign. The next thing we did was cut up the whole dish, which was a bit terrifying. We cut the whole back of it off. I'll go through that in the Starmount Systems review, which is that case. But we went ahead and cut all the back of it off. That big metal pole, the motors that rotate it, and the big heavy stand were all put in the trash. And now we have that slim little box on our roof that's weatherproof. The day we finished doing that, we headed into Mexico, where we did sweep for the Nora Rally, which is sort of a Dakar rally off-road race. The Nora Rally all the way down to the tip, we sort of chased and helped some friends along the way. So it's been in a lot of different environments, silt beds and hailstorms, not big hail yet, I can't attest to that, but let's say the normal sort of bigger than pea-sized hail, but not as big as like golf ball sized hail, I'd say. It has served us well from the tip of South Baja up to northern Montana. And our dish, since like day 2, has not had the motors to rotate. So although I know Starlink looks for satellites and finds those Starlink satellites, ours has been stationary on top of the truck, no other place, and it's worked perfectly. So I don't know if we still had the mounts in the motor, would it work even better? Possibly, maybe it would be faster, but I don't know. It's been perfect. The only time we've had a trouble with service is gas stations. You pull under the metal awning, you'll lose it, right? And we regain it as soon as we leave. Probably takes a minute, 30 seconds to a minute after we leave a gas station, and I see I have service again. And the other time is in the thick forest. So when we were in Montana, we were running some disused logging roads that hadn't been logged in a long time, and the trees almost covered the sky above us. And in the middle of the day, it could be dark. We'd lose service there. But we even found if we sat still, you could get some intermittent service. So if you were trying to send an email or download a video, you'd probably still get a little bit of service. It just wouldn't be good enough to do like a live telephone call or something like that. So those are the only issues we've had with the system. For us, it's been amazing. We've also been able to diminish our cell phone package to the cheapest ones we could find. So we keep our cell phone lines open. We keep the smallest amount of data that you can buy. And so I think we're paying about $25 for both of us to have our cell phones and keep our plan sort of open. And so just that alone has made up for 3/4 of that $150 we're paying a month towards Starlink. So we're using that Wi-Fi on the truck for everything, really. We've even found it so fast that when we do get an Airbnb or a hotel for the night to get some showers, the Wi-Fi from the truck, if it can reach us in the room, and it often can, is so much better than the hotel room. We'll actually prefer to use it. Now, we don't do that all the time. I don't want to leave this on the roof and have it get stolen, but it's just something to note that it's so fast that we used to look at the fee we'd pay towards Airbnb or a hotel for the night as part of what we're paying for is Wi-Fi to upload these videos and make our living. Now that is just no longer a need. We have all of our Wi-Fi with us anywhere we go at any time. The other thing I want to mention is that for us, it works at highway speeds. So we could be doing 85 miles an hour and we have pretty much perfect service. I haven't sensed any interruptions. If Kelsey's driving, I can be watching a movie or something on YouTube on my phone and doesn't seem to have any interruptions. And this is with the standard dish. So this is not the in-motion dish. We're not paying anything extra. It's just interesting that with it fully flat mounted, no rotating motors, it seems to be doing perfectly for us. So I'm sure people who have a critical need for Wi-Fi and they're working in IT and they're doing Zoom calls and the Wi-Fi needs to have no interruptions, I don't know how our setup would work for that. But for everything we do, it has seemed perfect to our perception. And it's just so fast, we're not used to it. So even if, because we don't have priority service like a house would, the residential service, we have the in-motion, which is sort of the second or third tier of priority in an area, we just haven't had it be slow enough to matter. We've been able to download YouTube movies, Netflix offline, upload all of our YouTube, anything else that we're doing, even uploading large amounts of raw data we've been able to do with no issues. So no real complaints. Of course, I wish it was cheaper. I wish the dish was smaller. I wish it was 12 volt. Those would sort of be the only complaints, but for how revolutionary this is, they're kind of minimal. I'll go over in my Starmount Case review some of the other options they offer. We paid full price, no sponsorship for anything, including the Starlink, the Starmount Case, or any of that, but they do offer a setup to convert these to 12 volt. Starlink doesn't offer that yet. I have heard, if you go on the Reddit page about Starlink, people are talking about new patents that have been filed for a new dish. So maybe it'll get smaller, maybe it'll get thinner, maybe it'll be a 12 volt version in the future. But for us, I'm really glad we didn't wait. We were tempted to give it another year and see what would happen. But the moment we got this, it was like the abilities to upload videos, download videos, even diagnose a mechanical problem in the middle of nowhere became so much easier. You can pull up a YouTube video in a completely remote part of the earth and watch a video on how to repair something mechanical. So for us, the pluses so vastly outweigh the costs that it's definitely a no-brainer, and I hate to say it, but it is a game changer. So thanks for coming along on this quick review. Let me know what questions you have. Our use of Starlink is very unique, and it makes it very worthwhile for us. Is it worth it for you to have it in your house? Is it worth it for you to have it just for when you go camping? I don't know about that. I know for us, full-time in the truck and on the road, this is absolutely worth it, and we're really happy we have it. So thanks for coming along. We'll see you next time.